finally, after a year. Yes, this is Geeks with Glue Guns, and I do have a new project. Let's be real, I have a list of projects I want to do for you guys, but I'm lazy and I procrastinate, so you know what? I'm human. So here's the bottom line. I have been on the internet, and if you've been on the internet recently too, you know about April, the giraffe that has been live cammed at the zoo because she is pregnant and going to have a baby. It is the biggest thing since what other internet craze? Insert it here. So I thought, why not do an April themed project? I know I've been watching her too, going, oh, it's today, it's today, it's today. And well, you know what? Today I'm going to do an April the Giraffe theme project with you. So what you're gonna need, especially, is a piece of wood. I just happened to take one off of a glorious friend's hands. It's a scrap piece, you could buy it new, and I steamed mine so it would be a darker color because of the spots on the giraffes. They tend to be a browner or darker color. And I have my template I have made. I went through Photoshop. I found this cute picture. Yes, I know it's not April, but I found it on the internet. I thought it was adorable. So I went in and I made it bigger out of multiple pieces of paper and outlined it with a Sharpie to kind of get the idea and guidelines I want. Do I have to follow it perfectly? No, because that's what creativity is for. You're gonna need a hammer and nails for this project. You will need some ring hangers for your board. There's different ways to put it up. You can either do it with wire or not. You will need threads. I have picked this off yellowy color because to match the giraffes, and of course a chocolate brown and a little bit of black for details. And while you should use embroidery threads, this is black yarn because I forgot to pick some up. Whoops, made a mistake, but improvisation is all part of crafting. And of course your necessities of scissors and tape. So first off, you are going to want to tape your design down on where you want it. Also, I recommend board that is over ½ an inch thick, at least ½ an inch thick, because you do not want your nails to go all the way through. So then you're gonna take, I have 1-inch nails here because I have ½ an inch thick board. So you wanna make sure you have enough to go up, but not enough to go all the way through. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these nails and hammer them all the way around your outline. Here is the pegboard with all the nails in it. So rule of thumb, especially around the edges, you want them to be no further than about 1 inch apart. And if you want more of a curve on one area, you're gonna want more nails and so forth. Like here, added more nails and stuff like that. I also recommend going from right to left or left to right depending on what you're handed, so you don't pinch your fingers in between. So the next step is going to be tearing off the paper. Also, I wanted to mention that I recommend taking a picture of it before you tear it off, just in case you made any modifications. It's kind of one of those how it feels kind of things. So slowly, carefully pull it off. So you're just gonna start by doing the outline in your brown. And what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna tie it to one corner, and then you're gonna outline your whole thing, including all of the spots. So, artist side note, I started getting lost, so I took my template and kind of stuck it back where it was, and I'm gonna carefully pull it off because I started losing what spot started and one ended. So I recommend, if you are a beginner, the fewer details the better. So after getting all those outlines done and cutting up my fingers a little bit, I warn you, it is time consuming and a little frustrating. But now that I've got a basic outline, I'm going to push the strings down a bit, not completely to the bottom, but just so I have enough on top for more wrapping. And now I'm going to take the yellow and just wrap and fill in all the parts that are gonna go and be that color. And then I'll go back to the brown and do a top layer outline so it looks nicer, and do the things like the black for the eyes. Okay, so as you can see, I'm wearing different clothes and the lighting behind me is different because this is day 2. I did not know how long this project was going to be because I'm one of those things is I learn it so I can teach you, and this is my first attempt, and I did a complicated design because it runs in my family. So as you can see, we are getting close. I have just finished doing the yellow layer, and basically there's not much to it. It is string, find gaps, fill the string, do that. I recommend doing it in parts just so if part of your string breaks, you don't have to start completely over. So I did the bottom baby giraffe by herself, and then I did the top half of the mama giraffe by herself, and then I did the base or the main part, the middle part by itself. And then I took a top layer string and basically tied it to an edge and just kind of went in and filled in the gaps. I could probably do more, but so during the process I would go and I'd take my hammer in loose nails that I found that I just didn't get in deep enough. You know, so I even had to add a reinforcement nail. But as you're going through, you will push it down so you still have the top of the nail available to you, because we still have to do the brown part or the brown spots. Now I'm going to do the outline and see if I want to fill in the spots of the drafts or not. That was one of those things that you kind of have to just judge and see how you like it. I will also be doing the eyes and other details that I'm doing in the face in the black. And I recommend, while you are doing it, the best explanation I have, I will grab a scrap piece of paper so I can show you this. If you have 2 nails, what you want to do when you start on one is you kind of want to wrap it in a long shape, and then to fill it, you do a figure 8. So it will look like that, and it will spread more evenly if you do this particular pattern. About 8 hours later, I have turned this into this. So a couple things you will have seen me do during the time lapse is that I did take the Sharpie and color the top of the nails. Well, I just thought it made it smoother a little bit because I'm doing a dark outline and then dark outline on top of silver. You know, it's kind of, so I did the color in black just to make them blend in. And while I would have preferred using black embroidery thread, the yarn did work. And for other places, I did want black, like around the mouth and around the noses and stuff like that. I just used the black Sharpie, and you saw me cheat. I colored the yarn. But I think it turned out really good for my first try doing pegboard. But we're not quite done. We need to have a way to mount it. I showed you in the beginning, I picked up these wall hangers, and we're gonna install them as carefully as we can. Now, if you have any holes in the back, I recommend putting tape over them or something, just so it doesn't scrape up your wall. Okay, there you have it. Now you may notice I do have corners on these now, little decorative corners. They were not planned. When I ended up drilling the wall hangers on, the nails happen to be a little too long. So I got creative to cover them up. You know what they say, as in Bob Ross would say, they're not mistakes, they're happy little accidents. So I have a little thing, and so yeah, that is it. It is completely done. And was it a hard project? Yes, it was. And it was definitely time consuming, but worth it. Now I recommend, if you have, you know, I've never done this before, but I jumped straight in to the deep end and learned how to swim. If you want to try this project, I would recommend getting clip arts. Clip arts usually tend to be a lot more smooth, a lot easier thing, or even better for stuff like this is coloring book pages, because you have that crisp outline you can follow. So I do not recommend starting like I did unless you want a challenge or if you've done it before. So this is our pegboard art, our string art in honor of April, who is still pregnant. We are all still waiting for her to have that baby. Maybe by the time this video and you're watching it, she'll have had it by then. But this was my tribute to her, so, you know, if you liked it, you know, do the normal thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know if you have any questions that maybe something I forgot to cover or anything, because I know this video is a little choppy. I'm rusty, I haven't done it in a while, and if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. Also, if you have any other ideas for projects I can do, I'm always adding things to my list. So just let me know, and I will hopefully see you guys soon.